Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and my final car review of 2024 officially. This one's a little bit emotional because we are going to drive the last ever Chevrolet Camaro. Yes, this is not the most exciting variant because this specifically is the RS Turbo. So speaking of pairing, this is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that produces 275 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, this is down on power, like 60 horsepower than that of the V6 model. By the way, that model is still here for sale. And this has ironically more power, hence being a turbocharged engine, but only by 15 Newton meters. And this was the first Camaro that I actually wanted to drive. I was not expecting at all to drive the RS V6 model. That was one of my biggest surprises this year. And of course, you all know by now, I wanted to drive the V8 model. Now, with this a 4-cylinder, yes, there's still a lot to like about this muscle car because, yes, it's only a 4-cylinder, half of the usual V8 and all that. But this is very, very, very light on its feet, as said by the owner itself. And speaking of the owner, I would like to thank everyone here at the DAC, here at San Rafael, Mandaluyong. Everyone's very friendly here, and there are a lot of cars here for sale at the moment. And you can see more muscle cars available here too. Now, back with this Camaro, on the side profile, you get your traditional Camaro silhouette looks. This Camaro RS Turbo are running on Goodyear Eagle F1 tires, and both front and rear, these are running on 245, 40, and 20 series tires. But if you go for the ones with the bigger engines, of course, the rear tires will be a little bit larger than usual. The Camaro badge here on the front side fenders, you have your usual American badge logo. It's a little bit weird that the color styling is labeled like a French flag, but it's not the usual French baguette that keeps blowing up all over Las Vegas. Anyways, the usual two-door coupe here. The windows fold down as such. So this specific one is a 2019 model year, but there's barely any changes. One I've done as well 2 years back with the 2022 model. So whatever model year you get up to now, it is exactly the same. But the first owner of this, as usual, you get a little bit of a mod. I like this sticker that stretches all the way to the front hood. Now here at the rear of this Camaro RS Turbo, your usual your taillights, but again, since this is the more updated model compared to that one of the 2017 model, this one has like a split design for the taillights itself, but for the front lights, it's exactly the same. They're running on all LEDs. And the boot space of this is your usual at 258 liters, which looks alright, but you cannot even fit a monoblock chair right inside. You have your emergency release button here too, just in case you try to kidnap someone. I don't know why would you use this as a kidnap car here in the Philippines. And more stuff there, like you can fold the rear seats too, just to extend the boot space. Now this is the interior of this Chevrolet Camaro RS Turbo. Here in the door card, it's your usual sports car, muscle car type. It's really long. And I just realized on how big the door opening is. Literally, it's gonna be a tight squeeze if you're gonna park this in the tightest of malls or so on and so forth. And as you can see on camera too, you get this very nice ambient lighting that kind of looks like a boomerang, memory seat functions, and Bose surround speakers all around too. Right, so this is the interior once again of this Camaro RS Turbo. It's pretty much the same. Now you can hear the difference too between the opening sequence of this and the V6. So let's listen it from the outside. You have an analog tachometer, speedometer with a very large digital display right in the middle. You get a lot of information and adjustments. No more V6 icon for obvious reasons. And I will apologize to some of my viewers out there in the Hongqi HS5 review. This Chevrolet Camaro has an adjustment too for your heads-up display too. You can change the information at will, but for obvious reasons, I'm gonna put mine in the G first and the speed itself. And you get paddle shifters all around. I love the throw of this and the click of it. just as good as the V6 model, and let's see too with the V8 model. Your heads, as mentioned, the heads-up display and all of your information adjustments are here on the left side, and for your brightness as well. That's actually really bright. Put you down, and you have an 8-inch Chevrolet MyLink infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with a reverse camera. And like with all of my nitpicks with all Camaros with this infotainment system, it's a little bit hunched back, so I don't know why it's set like that in the first place. But I checked out in some forums that Chevrolet on purposely did that to avoid all of the sun glare if ever. However, I will tend to disagree with that because not much light going on here into the cabin because you get very small windows. So I'll demo. Wait, I don't want to remove my hat. Yeah, even getting out, for example, like for a parking ticket, it's really difficult, and your visibility out front is really small too. Hence, you have a very large engine hood itself. And going back to the engine, I just remembered now. Now, being the 4-cylinder itself, this has a very large gap now in the engine bay itself for obvious reasons, since this was designed at first as a V8 vehicle. Then a lot of buttons here for your tuning knob, your air conditioning controls. Now, being the modern Camaros, you still have the same adjustments for the climate right here, and you get seat warmers and seat ventilations now. Now, that's more I like it too, and of course, for everyone, you can do a lot of changes too for the ambient lighting, all the colors. There's even a two-tone scheme if you want. Gear shift, pretty conventional. There's a Camaro logo just above, and more stuff here for your electronic parking brake, 12-volt socket over here, electronic stability control program, and for your driving modes. So we have your Tour, Sport, Snow and Ice. No idea why you need snow and ice in this country, but hey, this came from America. There's snow there anyways. And glove box. Oh, that's pretty small, but it houses your entire manual itself. Okay, pretty decent, I guess. And the seats, they're all leather. There's white stitching all around them too. And the bolstering is quite a lot. Hence, this is a muscle sports car. Anyway, 2 cup holders here too with ambient lighting. Center console box is really small, but at least you have 2 USB Type A ports and an aux cord too. And above here, you get your usual lights, safety reminders. Visor, you get vanity mirror with a very slow opening for the LED lights. How about that? And of course, this is a car made in America. Mwah. Very good with that. And oh god, yeah, this Chevrolet Camaro's rear seats is not its strongest suit, but I mean, it's not so bad. The knee room and feet room is all right for me. Yeah, but the headroom, if I remove my hat, sorry for my bad hair. Oh yeah, there's no space for me whatsoever. I'm 5'4" by the way, but if you just slouch around and just do this for short trips only, this will just do. I mean, yeah, I would still sit here happily knowing I have the space for my feet already. Right, so not much toys here. You get only a cubby space over here. And yeah, that's about it with this Camaro RS Turbo. Now, I've been waiting for a long time for this. Let's push this baby to the max. Now, finally, let's go for a drive. And I would comment too, this is a 2019 model. You get an updated steering wheel too. So for your favorite buttons, cruise control, heating functions too for the steering wheel, and your cruise control and usual phone connectivity buttons. And like that of the V6 model, I don't like the left side mirror because it's kind of like a ×2 display compared to the right. So if ever I was gonna buy a Camaro, I would literally swap that immediately. Driving around 30-40 kilometers per hour. Yeah, it's pretty solid. Yeah, you can hear like loud motorcycles coming about, but again, not so bad. And going over humps is pretty decent too. As well, a good amount of ground clearance, around like 130 millimeters. The brakes are really strong since these are running on Brembo disc brakes all around. And I can understand now why. I mean, it's just not only been 5 minutes getting out of the dealership. I see why everyone buys this as a daily, because besides the fuel, which I'll give the figure later on, yeah, it's just a nice quiet vehicle. Yes, you don't have to worry about the V6, the V8s, and all that, since they're a little bit more thirstier now than usual. But I can tell immediately with the handling of this vehicle, this is so much lighter to throw around. And let's try manual mode. Ooh. Okay. That's just in initial pull. Oh, wow. Wow, okay. That was just in tour mode. We're not even in the crazy sport mode yet. And just driving here around in San Rafael, Mandaluyong, well, Mandaluyong City to be exact. These have very harsh road conditions, almost similar like that in EDSA. You can feel the suspension is a little bit stiff, but it's not as bad as you expect. It's kind of like what? Just being honest, only a Civic that's been have like 1 millimeter of travel left in the suspension. But of course, you look much better in this Chevrolet Camaro Turbo. And another thing now that I noticed in the forum, I didn't believe it at first. So when they said this turbo has almost the same performance as the V6 model, I kind of believe what they're saying now because as mentioned, you have 15 Newton meters more torque than the V6, and of course the sound is not there. But the initial pull of this is what, really crazy. And let's try now sport mode, manual mode. Jeez, my god, that's really punchy. And I love this 8-speed automatic transmission. Yeah, it's not the fastest out there, but once you get going, you get going in no time. Wow. And that's why I prefer automatic gearboxes compared like that of single clutch transmission or even dual clutch transmissions. It shifts up and down when I want to at all times. That's what I love about this 8-speed of Chevrolet. Yeah, it has like a 1-second delay, like first, and now it shifts to second. But once you get going, of course. Oh my god, this thing flies. I love it. I love it. Right. Oh, okay. Now I understand now the hype of this Camaro 4-cylinder here in the Philippines in the first place, because you can just shift it as a violent, crazy sports car monster or muscle car if you still consider it, then to a very nice daily. So if you're a long-time viewer of my channel, I've driven the Mustangs here already, both in 4-cylinder and V8 form. I've yet to drive a Challenger, but hopefully soon. I can tell this suspension, I would admit, is just a tad stiffer than a Mustang EcoBoost. They tend to be a little bit more floaty. This one is, yeah, you can feel the jitteriness a lot more. However, though, the handling of this, weirdly enough, I would take this over the Mustang EcoBoost if we're talking about handling only. Of course, the Mustang EcoBoost has more power than this, like 300 or so. But the handling, I prefer this way more. And remember, this is like some, 60-70 kilograms lighter than the RS V6 model that I tried out too. Yeah, handling is top-notch. Not to my surprise, muscle cars don't have those kinds of traits, but this one is really good. And just driving here around in Mandaluyong, surprisingly easy to maneuver. Of course, you have a very short rear overhang apart from the very large engine hood in front, even though this is a very small engine. Yeah, got used to it pretty quickly. And the steering is really responsive. There's always heft at all times, whether you're in tour, the normal mode, or even in a sport or even snow ice mode. And blind spot, yeah, it's huge. I mean, as you can see with the rear quarter panel. And road noise, yeah, it's a lot expected with tires with more than 245 of depth. I'm lost for words now because I've always wanted to drive this RS Turbo. I wanted to know what the hype was all about. Now I know. It's a really good daily. And now the fuel economy, everyone's wondering. This is, of course, as well, one of the most fuel efficient as well. So it says here in the trip computer, 12.6 liters per 100 kilometers. That's like around 8-something kilometers per liter. And that's why everyone buys this in the first place. If you want the looks, the performance, without breaking your wallet with fuel, look no further with this Camaro RS Turbo. Remember, this specific one is for sale here at the DEC at 2 million pesos. Yeah, so this is like a million less than when it was brand new way back when. It's very, very sad now that this car has gone away now, because what a car. Oh my god. Oh my god, what an honor. I can't believe I've driven a Camaro Turbo. Now, one more thing to do in my wish list. Let's hopefully find the V8 and see how that performs. So again, I'd like to thank everyone here at the DEC here in San Rafael, Mandaluyong, and to Sir JP who assisted me here in this test drive today. So if you want to avail the Camaros that I've reviewed here, I'll put the link in the description down below. So hope you guys like and subscribe. And again, I would like to say to everyone, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.